What?
All right, and we're live. Welcome to Top Deck Monthly Cup number 2. This is the quarterfinal match between Laurie Poulter and Alex White. I'm joined today by the famous Hollis Echo. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I don't know if I would call it famous. Is anyone actually famous in Netrunner? I don't think so.
You're about as close to Netrunner famous as it gets. Well, maybe Dan too. Dan's pretty Netrunner famous.
Don't do this to my ego. You can't do that to me. Cannot do that.
And also joining us, sans camera, is Josh Wilson. What's up, Josh?
What up?
Josh is actually famous. Like Josh is like real famous.
Josh is pretty famous.
Nope. I don't think so.
There's one thing that I can always guarantee every stream: I'm the least famous of everybody. So you guys win.
That's not true.
I don't think so.
All right, so let's start talking about playmats. Just kidding. You probably missed that. There was a heated discussion today. Not really. I wasn't that heated.
Really? There was a heated discussion about playmat.
Yeah, we'll save that for the Top Deck podcast.
Oof.
I'm actually thinking about doing a Top Deck podcast where it's like, like the whole like ESPN style where they like kind of argue about stupid stuff. I think that would be kind of funny.
I would love to be the Stephen A. Smith of Netrunner.
So basically, you're going to be constantly wrong and never admit it. Is that what you're saying?
That could be the case, or I could just want to give you a hard time every time for no reason. It's what Stephen A. Smith did.
Yeah, I'll be this. I think Josh could be the Skip Bayless. What do you think?
He could be Skip. Josh, can you be Skip Bayless?
Man, it'd be difficult to be Skip Bayless.
Jesus.
It would be difficult. He's got his own show.
Yeah.
No, he's famous.
Yeah, he is famous. Josh, you could be famous like Skip Bayless.
I don't want to be famous like Skip Bayless.
I'm rooting for you, man.
All right, well, let's take a look at the bracket first. We've already had our other quarterfinal matches, I should say. Well, actually, there's one still pending. But Josh, congrats. Looks like you beat DN 2-0. Any comments on the games you guys had?
No, it was pretty easy.
That's pretty easy.
No, it was actually pretty interesting, right? Because the whole thing with this format is you try and sniff out what the other person's going to do, right? And then you play your deck. So I thought he was going to play Shutdown on EH. And the way Shutdown on EH works is that he's not really great at scoring agendas, but you don't have to be great to score breaking news, and you only need breaking news once to do your combo, right? So what he does is he, if the other person doesn't run, he puts out like a bunch of senses, and he really quickly draws to the bottom of his deck, right? And then he doesn't need to shut down. So I played False Echo DDoS thinking he has to hold the combo cards in hand. If I just use Sports Hoppers to avoid 24/7 boom, then if he draws to the bottom of his deck, and then I like go on the power turn, he already has no cards in R&D, and he has combo cards in HQ, so where can the agendas be, and I'll just win. And it was a great plan, and then he played Russian NEH, so the plan didn't work anyway.
Lay ruse.
It's kind of what the whole thing's about, is nobody knows what the other person's playing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Well, it should be fun to try to figure out what to play against Noah, because he's been, so far, he's been nailing the deck choices.
Yeah, I don't know I've been thinking about what Noah would play for actually like a week and a half now. I've just been thinking about it, and I don't have no idea what I'm going to play against him.
All right. Well, I guess I'll mention Noah beat Peter McGowan, so he will be advancing. So yeah, Noah is he's the champion from last cup, and he's in the semis this time. So some back-to-back good performances from Noah. We still got another quarterfinal pending between Chris Dyer and Jesse Marshall. Not sure when that's going to happen, but that should be a pretty good one. So let's talk about the one we got today, Laurie versus Alex. Alex also goes by vinegarymink, or I guess lately it's Zachary Xylophone. He is a UK national champ in 2015. And he got a 6th place at 2016 Worlds, so he's coming off a pretty good performance there. His runner today is Nexus Kate, and his corp is CTM.
And he's really handsome. Look at that smile. Look at that beautiful smile on that face. You see that?
Well, that's a nice picture. Look
Yeah.
at what you did.
Yeah, I took
Nice
that.
job.
I stalked that one off of Facebook, I think. Maybe.
Nice. That's a good snap.
Um, let's see. Any comments on the deck choices for today? I mean, I guess you haven't seen the other ones yet, but just no surprises.
I mean, it seems pretty simple. It seems, I mean, as far as on Alex's side, CTM is, it's just good. We can talk, we can go in circles talking about that, but the deck choice is just fantastic. And obviously, I think he's preparing for a CTM or Sync matchup with his Nexus K deck, which the list is, actually, never mind. That's not his list. We'll talk about Laurie's list in a minute, I think.
Okay. Well, Laurie, as he goes by lpoulter online. He was the Greek Nationals champ in 2015. He was able to take down a regional this year. And he is on Power Tap Andy and Polana Grail.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
those
spicy.
Those seem like some meta calls, possibly.
Yeah, it's interesting actually because I don't think Josh touched on this just a few moments ago. Like one of the best things about this format is because you do not know what your opponent is playing, it actually leaves a lot more room than I guess like a standard like tournament for Netrunner where you can play something very different, very interesting. And if your opponent is sort of set up to counter that, all that tech against I guess whatever they're looking to counter just completely just be pointless, almost useless cards. I think the Security Nexus is going to be super helpful versus heavier Glacier Ice, but I don't think he's going to have the same advantage that he's hoping to find versus Sync and CTM versus this Planet deck. It's really interesting.
It is interesting. The nice thing about Polana Grail is it gives you the chance to beat anything. If you kind of get set up, like a deck like Nexus K is never going to get gear checked because they can Nexus over anything. And it does kind of feel like they can beat any ice. But you're always in it if you can stack 2 ice and maybe get a baddie off, right? Because
right.
Nexus 1. So that's the nice thing about Polana Grail. Otherwise, I would think, and I don't really know this, that it's like some kind of tech for maybe it's Emerging Wiz to gear check it quickly.
Ah, that would be neat. Yeah, you're right.
But he's got it here against Nexus Gate, and it can't be too bad. It seems very difficult for Nexus Gate to ever make a run against a Polana Grail deck.
Yeah.
Until she's really set up.
So I also want to point out Laurie is running 3 Agroplex. Josh, I know that this card has been very controversial in terms of discussing it with you.
There's no controversy. There's just right and wrong. Agroplex is a great card, and I'm not surprised at all that Laurie's playing 3 of them. It'll actually be really interesting if you can get one of those. It's a card that there is no way that Nexus K can trash, and there's no way that there's no way that she can keep up with that. So if he's on like a good draw with an Agroplex early, he's pretty much guaranteed to get on an Issei or maybe a corporate sales team. I don't know what he's on really, but she absolutely can't afford to trash it. And then by the time that she's set up and they're ready to go, they'll both be going pretty fast, but it'll be like a very aggressive game.
Okay.
So it can be really interesting because Nexus Kid is a deck that can get set up a lot faster with 1 card every turn, but maybe not as fast as a Blazing Fast Polana Grail. It can be really fun to watch.
One thing to note, the Alex is running Artist Colony and Fansite and SatCon in his build, so he could that could help against the Polana program trashing that could happen early.
Oh man, we got a SatCon.
Yeah.
Against the Polana Grail. It's gonna go all kinds of ways.
Seems good, right? All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Unless you guys have anything else to say.
I'm ready.
Sweet. You're ready. I'm never ready, but I'll do it anyways. Never ready. All right. I keep trying to fix my camera, by the way, but I keep pushing it to the wrong side. So I think it's fixed now.
Okay.
Maybe. Hopefully, we'll find out.
Cool. All right. So we got, looks like we're going to start out with Alex running.
Nice. Nice.
Laurie takes a mulligan.
That's a great hand to mulligan into.
I agree. Wow.
Oh, and then we get
Alex
the
also is good.
yeah, mulligan into the magnum, which is pretty essential.
Wow, look at this. Early game opus. I mean, that's really what he wants, right? I mean, that's step one.
Yeah, man, I think with Nexus Kate, you almost always mulligan if you don't have it in your opening hand, unless you just have like a bonkers hand otherwise.
And Laurie goes ahead and utilizes his Agroplex right from turn one. So here we go. The value.
He's going for it. He's
Agriplex.
going to jam that CST.
I really can't blame him at all for doing that here.
I think he's going to do it.
And so he installed the Enigma, right?
Nope. Yeah, he's got an Enigma there, but it looks like he misclicked the CST onto the Agroplex.
Oh, okay. He's going to take it all back. Such nice guys. So nice. There we go. Oh, yeah. And I think this is the right call. He knows that once Alex has everything set up, it makes his plan a lot more difficult. And this is a great face check for Laurie here. Oh, no.
Yeah, Alex is going to be able to beat it with the side hand. Although I think Laurie is kind of banking on the idea that Alex might be too scared to check it because he has a Paletta Grail deck. And that could go a lot of ways other than it's an Enigma. But
Yeah. Wow. Man, Alex had that nuts draw. That's what you get sometimes.
Well, I think he losing the CST is slightly better than losing the Nisei, if there's any consolation there.
That's true. That's totally true. Oh, man. All right, so the question is, does Laurie have room to rush this again? Okay, no. I think he just installed, was that a baddie?
he put a Caprice in there.
Yeah, Caprice.
Okay. And he discarded his Celebrity Gift.
Okay.
Alex is going to trash the Agroplex. So that Agroplex just took like a full turn to trash. So it already got some value.
So good.
Noted.
Yeah, 100%. He's just going to go for it again. He's got a Caprice in there now.
Yeah.
And he has the double gear check. And yeah, there's no way that Alex can beat it. So he's just going to get it.
Wow. Way to go. That was fast. That's what he's got to do, though. Wow.
Well, Laurie's he's gonna be doing pretty good on money now between the ID ability and the CST score.
Mm-hmm. I bet he wishes that he still had that Agroplex. So wouldn't that be just nuts, guys?
Yeah.
Be getting in between each turn 3 credits. It's insane.
Or 4 total.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
The thing about Nexus K is you absolutely can't afford to not draw a bunch until you're set up. So he's gonna make money on the ID for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Watching this Palenda deck is making me just feel really good inside. You know what I mean? Like it's good to see someone piloting a Glacier deck like this. It takes me back to a year and a half ago when you were playing people were playing classic RP. I love it.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jinteki Glacier. I think that it's very important that it's an effective deck for the balance of the game.
Laurie's no doubt getting frustrated here. He's trying to get to any agenda to put it in there because it's really strong right now. While he can actually still trace out a Nexus, and he has a baddie, and he has a Caprice in there.
Yep.
But he can't get to an agenda.
Dig, Laurie. Let's go. Find it.
Here comes Jackson.
Boom. All right, well,
I don't know if notably there's a net shield in Alex's deck. Not that it really is probably going to matter in this matchup, but I wonder why he put that in there. I guess it could get used, but I doubt it.
I think the install of the GFI was probably pretty. I mean, it was the safest place for it to be rather than his hand.
It's
right?
good for sure. It's good, yeah.
These guys play so
I'd like
fast.
I'd like to see him put the Galahad also on there. So it's like a triple gear check with the win in hand. So it's very difficult to beat him out of R&D if he puts the Galahad up as well.
That is good. You're right. And he's got looking at Laurie's discard pile also. I mean, he's got some that Jackson will just trigger throw probably just throw back all this operation based decon. I mean, but really, I think Laurie at this point doesn't even really need it. I mean, he's got just enough money to pretty much close the game out if he gets a little lucky, right?
Right. He does not. He's not terribly worried about the money. I mean, he's got a baddie in that server. He's got the Caprice in that server.
Yeah.
He has enough credits to win as Jinteki, which is your number one barrier. Although maybe he's a little concerned that Alex might vamp him.
That could be the case. That could happen. That would suck. That would suck. And you know what? When Laurie scores this agenda, Alex is gonna, well, as he just did, Alex is gonna be able to go grab that vamp if he wants it.
I think the card has to be installable.
Yeah, you can't get if you get an operation.
Yeah.
It has to be an install card. Okay.
But wait, I'm almost positive it goes to your trash though if you do it. So if you had like a same old thing or something, I think you could potentially pull it, and then it would go to your trash, and now you could same old thing. I might be wrong on that, but I thought I remembered that's how the ruling went if you fan site an operation or artist colony.
Yeah, he would need. Oh, okay. Let's see what happened here.
Which would be a moot point anyways, because he does not have same old thing. So,
what did he just grab with his?
He got one rabbit hole, which tutored the other two, and then he got a Beth with the other one.
Okay, so we got the Beth with the second. All right.
Well, and he's gonna attack this server, even though there's nothing in there right now because he can. And I think this is maybe where Laurie would want to have the extra gear check.
Mm-hmm. Because he's going to bypass this one.
Right, if Laurie even decides to res.
Yeah.
And he does. He's going to res.
He's going to go for it right here. Just say, hey, I'm going to trash these things.
And this baddie is a trash-only baddie. Not that it would ever do anything else, but...
Here we go. Man. I'm assuming he would hit the...
how many... He got... He has... well, he's got a Mopus in the trash, so I don't know if he would hit the Mopus just to make him spend the credits. Probably.
I think they're all good hits.
Yeah.
I think the Sai is definitely worse than the Magnum Opus because it seems like
he'll just clone chip it anyway.
No matter what this hits, if it hits Sai or Magnum Opus, he's going to clone chip either one. So I would think he's for sure going to take the more expensive one.
Right. Killed the Mopus.
There's maybe some argument to be made that he could take the SMC and then double gear check and limit the ways that Alex can get to another breaker. But he takes the Magnum Opus. That makes sense.
Yep. Security Nexus begins.
Well, if he takes the SMC, the clone chip can still bring it back, so it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really like reduces. It makes him spend 2 credits, 3 credits, I guess.
Oh boy, here we go. Whoopsie, res the wrong one. That's fine. All right, we play another side game. Another fun game. Another totally balanced game in that runner. Here we go. He switched it on him once again out.
Yep, nicely played. Nicely done by Laurie to not go 0 again. Of course, Alex does have the modded Magnum Opus, so he recovers pretty fast.
Yep.
Well, I would be very surprised to see Laurie not try and score
the agenda
corporate sales team on this turn, right?
Yeah, he might as well.
I think he might put it in there in advance and then install the Galahad, and he'd be at 9 credits.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. He needs that gear check.
Gives him more than enough to play however many side he needs to.
Laurie's taking his time. He's thinking about it. He's like, he even said thinking. So he's sitting here going, should I push this right now? Laurie, listen to Josh, Laurie.
He's doing the math on how much he needs exactly, and it's 2 to install the Galahad and 2 to res the Galahad's 4, and then 4 total to score the CST. So he'd have like 4 credits to play Scion, Caprice, and Batty combined, which I think is more than he needs for the entire turn.
Yeah.
Um, and that's assuming that Alex can feasibly get around these gear checks more than one time.
So it sounds like the right play would be to just go ahead and go for it.
Wow, he does a draw too.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case, he hasn't installed this Agriplex, you think, right? Like it has.
Oh no, it looks like he's just going to try and score Nisei. Oh no, okay, he put Nisei in and then gained a credit.
Okay.
So what do you think he was looking for with the Jackson draw?
Maybe some money. I would think the only way that he thinks that his scoring situation is going to get better is if he has more money.
Yeah.
Right, because Nexus Gate isn't going away.
Well, we're back to this again, where he's gonna have to depend on this side game. I really feel like just like you said, Josh, I feel like the best window to go for that agenda scroll was last turn. I mean, it was very tight, but I think it was the right call in that instance.
Right, I think so too. Either way, is an opportunity to play side for it.
Yep.
If you're gonna live by the side, you gotta die by the side, right?
Gets him again.
So if you're Laurie, what are you doing here? Install gain a credit advance one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Maybe I actually put Galahad in, and then I put another baddie in the remote in advance, I think. He has his HQ and takes credits. I think he's scared of the vamp. Which to be fair, Alex did just draw, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty deep into his stack, so it's fair to assume that he's probably drawn it by now.
It's so just talking about the available options that Laurie has here. Maybe another good idea was maybe to install the baddie on HQ and allow himself to quick ETR or risk or try for the ETR in case the vamp did happen.
Right, yeah, that would work because he has a Galahad there now.
Right. Wow. Picked off Varndy. Nisei picked.
And now Alex has both the vamp and the money to vamp comfortably immediately.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if Laurie didn't try to score this on this turn.
There you go. And that's pretty much the only real play I think Laurie has left to make. The baddie on HQ just stops the vamp. I think he knows it's coming.
Right.
Yep, and of course Alex now has to take into account that there's side games everywhere. There's so many ruses right now on Laurie's side of the board.
There are lots of opportunities for rusing.
Yeah.
Alex can run this remote a lot of times.
Yeah.
He does a gain 4 vamp, and this is interesting because Laurie can Galahad in the run, and then he doesn't have the same old thing, right?
Yes.
I think that seems like a good line. He's gonna do that after he breaks it, I would assume.
He's gonna go pull the breaker. Or no, he's gonna nexus. He's next. Never mind. He nexuses it. Nexuses it. Yeah.
I believe the innermost is a crick, so I don't. Maybe he'll res it. Okay, he does res it.
Oh, he can install another baddie. If this fires.
Right? Yeah, he can. Right. There is one in there, I think.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Okay, so now he's gonna have 2 baddies on HQ possibly.
Yeah, I think so.
If that is what he elects to do.
I think there it is. Yeah, I think that's what you got to do. Oh man, this is what a spicy series of events. I like it. All right, there it is. It's going to be an ETR.
These are great size from Laurie.
Yeah. Wow.
He's 100%, right?
Laurie's side game has been on point. So Alex is just going to install the Mimic and go for it.
Yep.
I think that card is the other card in that server a CVS?
No, I think he has another baddie.
Okay.
I think he actually has a baddie and a Caprice in that server room, and I'm pretty confident Laurie has seen all three of his baddies kind of early.
Right. So Laurie's doing the. I don't think Laurie would be saying thinking if it was anything other than a baddie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think the point at which he uses it is irrelevant, right? Because he just wins the game if he ETRs.
Yep.
So we're gonna get two sides from Laurie, both to potentially win this game, if that is a baddie.
Yeah, I'm assuming he'll just wait till the Caprice is resolved, and then that's the right way you do that. Man, I'm waiting with bated breath, guys. I don't know.
Intensity.
Yeah,
Intensity.
I love these games. I love games like this.
I think if I were Laurie, I would go one again. His side's been on point though, so I can't fault him for anything.
Oh wow!
He goes two, he gets punished. Now we get another baddie, potentially to win the game.
Here we go.
What do you think you bid here?
One.
I think I would go one again. Although I think they might just both end up going two again.
Oh my god, this is so tense.
I don't think I would want to go two again.
What did he say? Oh wait, can I do this? What does he mean?
Since Caprice already fired, can he baddie after? And he can.
Oh. Good luck. Good luck to both players. Let's see what we got. Oh man,
This is tense. This is true Netrunner right here.
Yeah.
This is what all comes down to. 11% to run the remote.
Oh,
Couldn't
he
clutch
gets
it.
hit.
Couldn't clutch it.
So close, so close. Wow. And then after Alex's turn, Laurie goes advance. Sorry, it was like a genetic research. I don't know, whatever. Like what? Why do you have that 3-1?
It's actually that 2-0, the new Jinteki 2-0.
Encrypted portals. Enhance my code gate game.
What do you guys
it.
think? Alex thinks we're criticizing his line there, that he should have just gone for the remote a bunch instead of.
Yeah, I think I said he could install Mimic and run a lot of times, but
Yeah.
he can't run that many times, right? Because he has to break this Lancelot every time,
Right.
and he has to break this Enigma.
And to be honest, I mean, looking at everything that had to happen in a certain order, Alex had the right start with the Opus, but Laurie also had a pretty darn good start versus matchup. Seeing all those baddies early and that Caprice so early to be able to rush out agendas like that, that's exactly what Laurie needed to close something like this out.
Yeah, he even gave one up early, and he was unfazed by it. He kept drawing with the Agriplex. He kept scoring. That's what you do with Polana. You can give it up early. You just keep trying to score, and he put the pressure on. And what Nexus Kate wants to do is take a lot of money and then immediately spend that money to run R&D and kind of keep you locked. But if you're just scoring as fast as Laurie is, then there's no opportunity for that. So
yeah, totally agree, Josh.
All right, these guys they're going fast, so I told them to hold up a second because you guys are in the game.
Wow.
We're right in the next one.
Jeez, that was fast. All right.
Okay, so we had we had both players keep their hands.
Wow, these starts.
Can you tell me what the card that Alex installed there is?
I can't. I was too busy trying to get everything ready on the stream, and I didn't quite see it.
I'm gonna guess that it's Cincy.
Cincy or Bankers would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an insta keep with two psychos, I feel like it's got to be one of those two.
Yep.
Well, he also had a first turn sweeps against Andy in a hedge fund.
Oh, yes, that's a good point.
So that card could be
San?
pretty much garbage, and I'm convinced that it's a good enough hand to keep.
That was a pad. Yeah. Okay. Pads, yeah. Who do you think has the edge here? And just deck-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they both got out to a really good start. I think I think I gotta say that I think Laurie's a little more favored. He looks like he has a lot of gross econ in his hand with the Temujin and the Desperado and the security testing, and he's on a deck that has a lot of long-term power.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the power taps, presumably.
And he's got there's a lot of synergy in that hand too. He's got the employee strike to kill the ability. He's got the Temujin and the career fair to even make it to 2 Temujins with sec testing. That seems like he's gonna have a lot of money and be able to take care of any assets.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think that Alex necessarily knows that this is a power tap deck. So Alex might be thinking the best strategy is to shore up all of my centrals, make sure I don't get like single access rushed down by a criminal.
Mm.
When really
Wow.
power tap, I think the only reasonable strategy is go before it sets up this enormous board state of Link and gaining credits whenever they trash your stuff.
And did you take a look at Laurie's hand right now? He has all 3 Temujin.
And a career fair.
It's pretty.
That's
It's a,
disgusting.
He's ready
it's
to
a
go.
beautiful thing. That's 3 cards to be on the MWL list in the future.
Disgusting. Getting 1 credit whenever I trace initiated. Cool.
Oh, I like this. He installed both the power tap and the Temujin, so he would duck down to not be in range to trash the MBT, and then he can run and get a hit off the Temujin. And I also really like that the Temujin is on archives.
Yeah, that's good. That's quite good.
Because Alex doesn't want to leave it up, but he also doesn't want to leave R&D open to ice archives. So he's at a little bit of a crossroads.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people make the mistake of installing a Temujin on like an R&D in that situation just because it's a server that you want to run more, but it's also the server that the corp wants to protect more. So
I 100% agree. Like, Alex would like to draw an ice, but if he draws an ice, he doesn't really know where to put it, right?
Yep. Puts him in a what's that called? There's something. I don't know. There's a dilemma there. There's a no choice is a fantastic one. Wait, what is he? Okay. So he hit the sand. That's what it is. Ha! My vocabulary is horrible. So he hits the sand and the Mumbad. So he has to trash them both. Now here's my question: if you're Alex next turn, do you res this sand and go for the close accounts with the breaking news?
well, he doesn't have enough money right now, really. I mean, he's only on 4 credits, so
Oh, that's true.
Well,
He
he's
lost that.
gonna go up. I'm pretty sure he's gonna sec test here because he doesn't want to get hard hitting used.
yeah.
Or maybe you just go with the breaking news and trash the Temujin. I mean, there's
Even then, though, it's not like he's gonna
jeez.
have money even if
Yeah.
he gets close account.
Alex scores the breaking news. Let's see. I think he's gonna trash that Temujin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that seems better than the closed account.
Unfortunately, he does not know that Laurie is holding 2 more in hand.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
This can just be so good.
Temujin all day.
Yeah. And then R&D, I think, is pretty dense now since all of the agendas other than one are there, and there's no ice against a Desperado.
Nope. Man. I missed it just because it happened so quickly. But another good positive thing about scoring their breaking news when he did was because he got rid of that employee strike, which means that CTM keeps to do what CTM keeps doing.
That's a good point.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was very good.
that was pretty important, especially at this phase where the ability actually matters. It's not going to matter at some point in this game, probably.
So Laurie finds a siphon and he has that Fim. Is that worth?
I would not be surprised to see Laurie trash the pad. A trace is only 3 to beat with the Link and Andy, and then he gets a credit for power tap as well. So it's just like you're paying 2 now only to trash a pad as an extra cost.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. What is he grabbing? Classic strat. Trash the paper clip. Little does he know that Alex has a 2x of Arc Lockdown in his deck, and he's about no.
So the decision not to trash the pad there, I think Alex is on so many credits at this point. Maybe he's sort of, but you can't really ever concede the money advantage to CTM. Like it's just not at any point in the game. You have to try to make sure that their potential to make money is cut off, I think.
Right. I think it's certainly defensible to not trash. I think it also would have been good to trash. I think I would have trashed it, but I think it's definitely defensible to not trash.
Yeah, I think it's defensible, but I also think that like maybe the idea that you should trash it is a little underrated in that scenario.
I think Laurie also knows that in his deck he's got multiple power taps, and so there's not the full value. I know you shouldn't always necessarily wait for a full value to do something in that runner. There's there's different judgment calls, but I think knowing that he's got the Earthrise ready to draw him effectively 6 cards over the next couple turns, and more power taps, I think he wants to make sure he doesn't lose too much, getting rid of each and every asset that he can get rid of. Man, power tap is uniquely good here. How disgusting.
This is great. He got a Temujin and a security testing hit there, and then he gets to go back in with the Temujin and get the money to make him pop the Jackson.
Wow.
And then he installs the passport on last.
I like it. Man. Wow. He's got to move.
A hard-hitting news. Is that a misclick? Could he really be trying to vamp him with this?
I think that may be what he's trying to do, yeah. Yeah, so he gains a credit.
He puts it up, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, this is an interesting play. It's not necessarily a bad play. This is very interesting because what he's basically saying to Laurie when he does something like this is, I'm gonna compress your clicks. I'm gonna force you to take off 4 tags next turn, or leave these cards on the board, and presumably these cards could be agendas. And Laurie, of course, can read that and then run these cards, thinking that they're agendas. And I'm not totally sure what he did install, but I think they're not agendas, right?
I didn't see any agendas go down.
I don't think they are either, no.
But if Laurie does run one of these, making that read, which is a pretty sensible read when somebody spends all of their money to put 4 tags on you that you can just take off.
Chat says, Jonas says Banker's Sensi.
Banker's Sensi. Okay, so
Which
so
is
it's
gross.
a little bit of a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, that's gross if he gets to fire both of those.
Right.
Yeah, and of course, Laurie lost the 2 cards that he had in his hand because of
Right.
the Earthrise. Not bad. All right.
Usually what you would... I think a lot of the time a player might say, okay, well, I'm pretty sure that this play reads that you're installing your agendas, and then they'll run them. And then, of course, if they're not agendas, he can't take off all 4 tags, and Alex can just close to count him.
Yeah.
But Laurie made, I think, the correct decision to just take the tags off. Because the Bankers is... he's going to get 2 credits here, but I don't think Laurie would have wanted to run that. The Sensi Fire will definitely be helpful for Alex, but I think Alex would have preferred it if he would have gone after the assets.
Man, look at that. All right. We see you, CTM, doing what you normally do. So good. If you're... Yeah, there you go. I was wondering if just putting the ice over archives, but yeah, that's the right call. What ice was that? Did we see?
I think that was a resistor.
Okay. So he's got the paperclip ready if he really wants to do it.
Okay, so this pad campaign has made about 15 credits at this point.
It's been very good. It's been a very, very busy pad campaign.
It came down turn 1, so...
Right. Laurie is now trash. He just trashed an unresed pad campaign, so I have to assume he's going to go after everything here.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes pad campaign, it deceptively is just like, well, it's only 1 credit a turn, but if you don't trash it, it gets ridiculous.
I think it's interesting that he trashed that pad campaign.
And not the res one, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, he wanted to check it, which makes sense, but he's going to have to go back in and trash that next one on this turn, right? So he's going to, so on the next turn, if he just trashed an unres pad campaign, he's certainly going to incur the cost again on the next turn. And then he actually could have made Alex lose a credit.
Oh, we got Alex mismath. I'm assuming Laurie's going to let him take that back if he chooses. Yeah. You got some well-mannered players. I like that.
Right.
Nothing's changed.
Laurie said, the whole turn if you like. You want to take back the whole turn? Just redo the whole turn.
Whole turn?
Don't even care. Just redo it all. That's cool. What a cool guy. All right. Okay then. I like it. I like it.
Well, Laurie and Alex are pretty good friends. I would assume
Yeah.
they've played on King of Servers teams together.
It's battle of the Brits, man.
Got the British bond.
So Alex just drew two cards that he really wants. The Cincy is a nice little tax, but it's not that big at this point. But the Tolbooth, I think, is a card that Alex has been looking for a while, because it seems like scoring is his only way out of this game.
Ooh, is he gonna put the paperclip in play? He knows his hard news is there.
Absolutely, I think he'll do it.
What, 4, 5, 6, 7? Sweet.
Yeah, he's gonna keep going. Alex, of course, has to use this Jackson because there's a food there now. So that's two Jacksons out. Alex is halfway through his deck.
Phew. Wow. He
Laurie
thinks
just-
it's
Right.
Unfortunately,
Laurie's made what I think is probably a pretty good read, which is that Alex is more than halfway through his deck and there's one agenda in a score area.
yeah, I agree. I mean, he hasn't scored anything in a long time, so it's a good time to fire
Right.
it off. Unfortunately, there's nothing there.
He gets a whiff, so now he's pretty confident that R&D is dense, right? Like R&D has almost the number of agendas that you start the game with, but it's half the size.
Yep.
Sure, and he's got the medium in hand, so the legwork, even with the whiff, it gives you the confidence that you can just lock down R&D and forget the rest of the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, and he still has the other two moves. Man, this is insane. He's got the second power tap. Thank goodness. He's probably going to feel a little nice about that.
I love this play.
Yeah, I think Siphon's good here.
He didn't res before, so he's going to siphon him. I'm a fan of this.
Nice.
And this is not what you want to see if you're Alex.
No, you want to make. Yeah, I mean, at this point now, he's got that. Knowing that Passport's out, he's got the toll booth in a remote, so he can start maybe rushing on an agenda as he sees them, because he knows they have to be coming. But now he does not have the money to get it rezzed. Now, if you're Laurie next turn, are you going to trash his pad finally? I think so. He's at so few credits now.
Well, we'll see what Alex does. It looks like Alex is trying to compress him a little bit by putting this in the remote, and that's an MVT, which is behind a Cobra toll booth.
Yeah.
So the Cobra is pretty problematic on its own, and then there's an MVT also in the server. So he may intend to trash that pad campaign, but depending on how he reads this install, he might not be able to at all.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a side effect of going for the siphon last turn and not locking out R&D, right? I mean, he doesn't know if he top decked a breaking news or something like that.
Right.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting a series of clicks remaining for Laurie.
We'll see how Laurie reads this.
Okay, yep, he goes in.
He pretty much made the perfect read. He installs a Fem, and he correctly, I believe, Fems the toll booth. I'm assuming that Alex put the toll booth behind the Cobra, and of course he did. So Laurie 100% makes the right read here. He is going to have to trash an MVT, which is going to be a little annoying for him, but
Right. He didn't play the power tab first. That's interesting. Yeah, because now he has to take that tag. I think you dirty... No, you can't do that either.
Laurie's realizing that he's been rused. I think he'll just run archives and take the tag off.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
The Citadel Sanctuary would come in handy at this point since he can fire the power taps twice.
Right.
take a tag.
Now the thing is, if Alex wants to now, Alex could probably just go right in here. Sweeps gain hard hitting.
Alex could absolutely put the tags on.
Yep. Yep.
There
And
it goes.
yep. All right.
He's got to make it 9, so he's going to end with 4 credits. 2 credits, sorry.
Fine.
I'd just like to point out, Laurie's got the Alt Art Femme, which means he's a donator to JNet, so good
Props.
on him.
Who?
Oof. Ugh.
Laurie has options here. I think he's going to opt to be cautious and just kind of take the tags off. But he is pretty close to the position where he can just put a medium down and start running.
Yeah. And we know that at this point, Alex has used 2 hard hitting news. I don't think he has, the third. Which means unless they get Jackson back, so Jacksons are gone, I think he can breathe a little easier. Do we know if Alex is on Data Raven?
Alex is not on Data Raven.
Okay.
And you're right, he only has 2 hard hitting news. So
Excellent. Okay. There we go. The money's back. So do you drop the medium here? I think you have to. Maybe not. Maybe you want to wait till you get a full turn, I guess.
Well, he's found the resistor there. So I think medium might be coming pretty soon.
Oh boy. Just gonna jam that sense in, keep it moving. Yeah, I think definitely medium is coming here. Maybe I don't know how long he's willing to delay, but maybe even just the Temujin, or something crazy. I don't know. Temujin run R&D, wait next turn for the medium, something like that.
He unfortunately needs 1 more credit.
Oh, here we go.
To put Temujin on R&D this turn and then run 3 times.
But
now
now
he
he
was
just
the career fair, right?
yeah, now it's just sick.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
so he took credits. So I'm almost certain, based on the way that he took credits there, that his plan is to Temujin R&D with the career fair, drop the medium, and then start running.
Yeah.
And it's so dense in there.
Yep.
seems like a good plan. Are we gonna see the Archangel on R&D?
Yeah, we have to.
There it is. That's gonna make it a little harder.
Oh,
He took it back.
Huh.
What does he want to do?
I think he's gonna regret that one.
I also think he's going to regret that one.
Okay. Here we go.
Thought that was a good play.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know.
You know what? I know why he did that. He did it because he wanted to duck siphon. So this way he ends his turn on 7 credits, and then if Laurie siphons, he can res the Sansan to duck it. But the other way, he was going to end his turn on 5 credits, where he could not res the Sansan. But
Boom, Astro.
Laurie's not trying to siphon him. Laurie's going to get a lot of uniques on a very dense R&D.
He's gonna make a lot of money too.
Yeah, he accessed 3 cards and pulled 2 agendas out.
Ooh, jeez. Now the Archangel goes down, but now Laurie's got the money to deal with it. Not very effectively, but
yeah, I think we see probably the end of the game.
Pretty effectively. It's costing him a net of 1 to run this, and he's getting a lot of uniques. Like he's getting 3 uniques on this run.
That's true.
And it's so dense in there.
Yeah, at this point in the game.
And at any point, he knows he can Hail Mary and just legwork, and even if he has to, he can let the Archangel fire.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. His options are he can look at 2 brand new cards in R&D. Yep, there it is. And then I think last click he may even legwork.
I agree. He's seeing such a high percentage of R&D when there are so many agendas left, and then he has the legwork in hand.
Right? There they are.
He gets there.
Doesn't need it. He gets there twice.
Wow. Very good.
So Laurie takes both?
Yep. Pretty good. Pretty darn good.
Missy played by Laurie. This pad campaign was worth a lot of money. It was up on turn 1 and was never trashed.
Right.
And he still pulled it out.
Actually, listen, they made it to turn 18. So basically 18 credits. A net gain of what? Is that 17? 16 credits?
16.
16 credits throughout the entire game.
If Alex at 18 turns, yeah.
4 hedge funds.
Yeah.
4 hedge funds worth of credit.
For a single click.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Pretty darn good.
Nicely played by Laurie.
Very well played. I like both these guys. These guys are cool. These guys are cool guys.
Well, my prediction was correct. I said a Brit would win. It's bold, I know.
You're crazy, man. You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful with these predictions. Don't want to.
So Laurie's in the Brit finals, the UK finals. There are other countries in there, I think. Oh, Jesse Marshall could pull it out.
Yeah, we got one Aussie.
Going against the champ.
No, he's going. The world champ. Yes,
Yeah, that one.
that other champ, not the top deck champ.
Chris, bridesmaid, Fire. That's what his nickname is.
Hey,
What's up, Alex?
not much. Finally out of top deck. It's sad time.
Oh,
Yeah, this is your first time ever being out.
Yeah, it's been a part of my life for so long.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Very sad. Yeah, it's been a blast actually. Just like having to come up with a list every week and constantly having that on my mind. It kind of always kept me thinking about Netrunner. It was a really good worlds prep for me. It was a big confidence booster for me as well because doing well in top deck was the first sign that maybe I could still win. So yeah, it's been a blast.
that's good.
And I'm glad to finally lose. I'm glad that my loss is to a Brit. That's good. The dream's still alive. That's the thing. One Brit was always going to leave this matchup, so it's okay. It's not so bad.
Nice.
This is what top 16 of Worlds was like as well. It was like, okay, I mean, I lost round 1 to Brian, but then when I lost to Ben, I was like, the Brit's still going. Like that team mentality can really, like being able to share in the victory of others and feel invested makes cuts a lot less stressful because it's not like 1 in 16 or whatever. People are the ones that you're happy winning, which is yourself. It's like when you're happy with 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people, it just makes it super fun. So like top cut Worlds this year was really exciting and this was really stressful. So top deck is the same. Like it's great to have all these people to root for.
Well, I'll jump in. I wanted to say actually, like looking at between the games between both you and Laurie, it really feels like he definitely had a beat on, I guess, decks that he thought he would play. And I understand, and the format of top deck makes it so that it's not predictable. That's what makes it fun. But it definitely seemed to be good reads for matchups, for the matchup between the two of you. CTM versus a deck that gives him economy for initiating traces, and then the reverse of that, him not playing a deck that was relied on Tag Storm and tracing, playing a deck that basically allowed him to rush through corporate sales teams and Niseis was also super beneficial versus your Nexus K deck.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. Like I think Laurie has about 60% in both those matchups probably. I think we both hedged a bit and there was room for one of us to get a slight edge over the other. I mean, all 4 of the decks that the 2 of us picked have pretty good matchups against everything, and that's presumably why Laurie picked his and that's why I picked mine. Because we were kind of rusing each other from the start and trying to like guess what the other person would play. And I think we both just ended up settling on solid decks that would give us hopefully a slight edge, and I think that paid off for Laurie. Would you agree, Laurie?
Well, the Polana deck I picked because I thought you'd play Nexus Kate, and that was a bit of a risk because if you played Valencia, I just pretty much concede, right?
Yeah.
So the Andy one was a bit more of a hedge, but I mean going into it, I thought you would realise you're the better player and just think you just want to play solid decks, that you can win with. Try not to ruse yourself, and so I thought that was quite likely to be Kate and CTM. So. Yeah,
they're the most likely decks I play. Yeah, I definitely think you got an edge in both matchups. Yeah, the Polana one is interesting. Like, I guess it is. I don't have any against the matchup probably better for you than I thought. I think I also had some. I think for the most part my play was okay that game, but I think some of my lines were probably wrong. Like the last turn, I'm probably not supposed to vamp. I'm probably just supposed to install Mimic and run the remote a bunch and just try and win side games. That's tough though.
Yeah, so it was quite tough. I was playing around the vamp as expected. You had it. I had some, but I think I got quite a nice draw. Like the Galahad turned up and the Batty turned up just when I wanted them to, so I could defend both HQ and the remote. So that helped. But what was going on with the CTM game? How was your draw? I mean, all the agendas in R&D, it certainly felt like that.
Yeah, I didn't draw very many agendas. It was okay. It was pretty good at the start because I had no ice at all. I kept sweeps, hedge, pad, and I was like, it's probably going to be okay. And then it was a bit awkward. It was a little bit of an awkward draw in the mid game. I wanted to draw End the Run Ice and San and pressure you, and I couldn't do that, which allowed you to get super rich. And so there's hard hitting users, which is kind of an attempt to get back in the game. When I did the massive hard hitting use of the 2 installs, the hope was that you would play around one of them being a breaking use, or think I was forking you, and that it was either you end up tagged other way, right? It's breaking news, but you didn't. You just cleared tags. If you end up with a tag, I have closed accounts, and then I have a really good path to get in the game. So I made there's 3 or 4 times that game where I try and make some kind of like a bit of a Hail Mary to get ahead, and you basically played around everything, so it didn't really work. So yeah, it was an awkward draw in the mid game, and I had to do weird stuff. And sometimes that works with CTM. That's why it's a good game.
Yeah, and if you hadn't done that weird stuff, I would have put down medium a lot sooner. I had it.
Exactly.
I had to deal with the threats.
Yeah, we noted on the one play, Alex, where you installed the 2 assets, and you basically forced them to deal with it because you landed the hard hitting news, which was kind of like signaled to him that those might be agendas, so that if he spends his turn clearing tags, then you could just score.
That was the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was pretty terrified that one was an Astro or a breaking news, but
yeah,
I think the worst case scenario was me running. I would have been tagged, right? Like Astro was bad, but perhaps.
I agree. I really wish I'd had an agenda down to put down there, because you not run, even if one of those cards is an agenda, you not running is still the best line. So I want whatever punishes you as much as possible for putting down agendas there. So yeah, Astro would be ideal. Breaking news would be just as good. But like something that means I can close your accounts at some point, because that's how I get back in the game. And at the end of the game, I have two breaking news in hand, closed accounts, and San. So if your medium dig misses, then if I can find the time, I can purge Archangel's attacks, and then I go for the closed accounts. But R&D was so dense that I was like, he's going to win like 3 rounds.
What was the ice when I femmed?
It was Tollbooth with a snake.
Perfect. Yeah, it was a perfect fem. It was a perfect fem.
I thought when I saw the snake on the legwork, so that's always going to go on the outside.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you couldn't res the Tollbooth, I don't think, so I thought it was maybe an enigma.
No, it was just like, it was basically just to try and call you through. I wanted to call you through and hit the tour, which did work. And what I wanted was for you to not install an anti-Cobra card so that I could res Cobra and try something real, or use an inside job or something. Fem was the best case scenario because it invalidates the whole server going into the game, going into the late game. So, but yeah, like sometimes that's how a lot of the time you pull it back against criminals is you install Virtual Tour. Like I had a game against Andromeda player Seamus in our BABW finals. He got so rich. I installed all my virtual tours and he would trash them, and then I'd like shuffle them back in with Jackson, and I just clawed his econ like to nothing, and then I was able to win out the game. I've played CTM so much right now that sometimes it feels like a combo deck, because like they're ahead, you're like, okay, what has to happen for me to win this game? And you go through all these steps. Sometimes it's like a 5-step plan where you're like, okay, I need to close the accounts. Okay, how am I going to do that? Well, I need to gear check, so I need to find this. And like the more steps it gets, the worse the game is. But like that's why CTM is so interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope people keep playing it in top deck. It's really like, people hate CTM, but it's really fun, and the games are super interesting because you never win the same way every game. Like, it's a great deck to have as one of the best decks in Netrunner, I think, if you can get over how powerful Senses and Hard Hitting News are and stuff. But like Temujin Contract and like Faust and all these runner cards are also completely insane. So like, it feels fair to me.
Yeah, I felt like in that last game, Laurie always had a Temujin in his hand, no matter what was happening. Like it was just like always there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my draw was good. It was. I always had the resources back in hand that if you close my accounts, I could bounce back quickly. But my draw was nice.
Well, I was gonna say your draw was good. Like it was like a good criminal draw. Like it wasn't necessarily like a bonkers draw for the specific deck that you were playing with the power taps, because you never really leveraged the power taps that much. But
no, I didn't see the Citadel either. I don't think, did I?
Right. No Citadel. So it was kind of like your draw wasn't necessarily the best draw for your specific deck, but just as far as criminal goes, it was just a sick criminal draw.
Yeah, it's just a good deck, and I like that version better than the Nexus version because it's kind of just good Andy, and then it's got that CTM tech, and it makes Siphon a lot better as well. Actually, power tapping.
Yeah, it does. That part kind of pushes it over the line. The fact that you do have Siphon.
Yeah.
Right, and then once you get your, if you have the rabbit holes and all that stuff, like then you end up not getting money back off the clearing the tag or whatever on the power taps. I don't know.
Do you have rabbit hole in your deck, Laurie?
No, it's too much influence, and
it's just taps and castles, and they all kind of combo.
Castles. I want
to call that card castle. I think that's.
I was thinking that there must be some kind of you'll get your ring credit, and I was getting my corporate sales team credit. So, a little bit of flavour there for everyone.
Ring, Mr. Phone. Yeah, that is good flavour. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. I should have said something in chat. Flavour's important. This game's just flavour.
There's no mechanics. No mechanics in the game.
No, it's just all
Josh, what do you think about that? What do you think about only flavor?
I think the opposite of that is true.
But Josh, would you agree that a good way to announce your Underworld contact trigger is to say ring? Because it's quicker than saying credit from Underworld contact.
Absolutely, right? I would agree that saying ring, Mr. Phones is a great way to announce your Underworld contact trigger.
So is it one ring per contacts? Is that how you do it? Like if it's 3, do you say ring? Oh, okay. All right.
Whenever
the way that Jason Ding has found to announce that he's taking credits for Underworld contacts in the various degenerate shaper decks that he likes to play, it's caught on quite well.
So are we gonna admit, Josh? Are we admitting is this the best contacts card? Is this better than the professional type?
No, no, absolutely not.
Danger. Did you enjoy the Agroplex, Josh?
I did enjoy the Agroplex. Yeah. We had a little bit about it at the beginning.
Yeah, that was perfect.
I explained that it wasn't a highly disputed card, that it was just a good card. A lot of people were choosing to be wrong about it.
Yeah,
Alex respected it and trashed it immediately. So
I trash it. I don't know if that's too far, but
I think it's good, right? I think
at that point in the game, I was going to slam stuff in that remote right now.
Yeah.
You're really feeling the pressure, right? Like, because all you have is a magnum opus, and he's drawing 2 cards, and you're like, oh shit, what if he draws another gear check and an agenda, and he just keeps putting this stuff in there? I'd like to put it down, so you take a whole turn to take 6 and trash it, which I think is good. So it's the Agroplex did a good job, and like you made the right play to trash it, but it also slowed you down a lot.
Yeah, that turn where I like the point where I trashed the Polana Agroplex, I think it's correct because Agroplex is at the absolute best it ever is in that situation where my cards are not half as valuable as Laurie's cards, right? Like my cards are just sitting in my hand and waiting to be paid for with Magnum Opus, and Laurie's cards are going to get him to 5-7 points super quickly. Like it's just going to find Nisles and stuff, so I have to trash it. Right. Agroplex is really good. I think I agree. I don't think it's very contentious if you understand the card. Like
you're feeling really under pressure when you're staring at an Agroplex and you don't have a board, and like you're terrified that they're going to keep scoring.
Yeah, and in some matchups where the runner's kind of fast, the cards are more valuable to them. So but you can just put it in your remote, and then it's basically sitting there until you find Caprice, right? Like it digs you to a Caprice way faster, then you just trash it, and then you don't worry about it. So even in matchups where it's bad, you just use it to find your scoring plan. That's what I was doing with it when I played it.
Yeah, well, put it in the remote and drawing. It's great.
Yeah,
and at that point in the game, you were potentially going to be making $4 per back and forth because you had the CST scored, and with the Agroplex, and that with Nexus Kate, Alex is going to draw because there's really no option. You have to draw. You have to get your pieces. So
yeah. If Polana gets sales team scored and has Agroplex active, it's probably not going to have economy problems for the rest of the game because you're going to, and it finds all your burst econ, so it's it's even better. Yeah, Agroplex is excellent.
Man, I'm sad I can't play that in tournaments. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Isn't Polana fun?
Yeah, that's something. Just the rush and the sight.
Yeah,
I haven't played side games for ages. That was great.
I miss side games. I love side games.
FFG, if you're listening, these are some really great players telling you that you should remove Rumor Mill out of the game for a little bit, please.
Just please.
That would be great. That was classic Netrunner to watch.
That was. Hey, I suggested to Alex actually that we should play. I don't know what you guys think about doing a classic format, but that we should play prepaid Kate and food coats from like January, but just like fixed lists. We played each other with those. Just,
pre-MWL food coats.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool, right?
You could kind of do it all right. You could just pick like a few matchups throughout the years.
Yeah, because Netrunner's kind of developed a lot of classic matchups, of which that is one. Although when we were listing classic matchups, I think like 3 of them involve prepaid Kate, because there's prepaid Kate versus food, prepaid Kate versus NEH, and prepaid Kate versus RP. But you can move it around, like Regmax versus RP was pretty good Netrunner. Although, like, it's like it favored Max maybe a bit too much. But yeah, try and find these iconic 50-50 matchups. Obviously, Wiz CTM is fast becoming one of them.
Andy NEH probably could be one.
Yeah. Pre-Clop, pre-Most Wanted, NEH was actually really fun, interesting NEH because they had good ice. So there was more of a game there instead of an access lottery.
Architects.
Architect, exactly. That kind of thing would be really interesting because those were some good Netrunner. And yeah, just Rumor Mill. I don't understand Rumor Mill at all. I'm not going to rant about it, but I am ranting about it. But like,
so we still hope, right? The card says something very specific, doesn't it? It says not effective on regions or something like that, right? And it kind of, when I read it, I thought, well, there's a region coming out that a Caprice-like region or some kind of defensive upgrade. Perhaps that's wishful thinking, but.
Yeah, I've heard that Pack 6 has got some important good cards in it or something. Hopefully is good. No, I don't have scoops. Someone just told me it's got good cards in it.
Alex said he has scoops.
I'm just going to make up some cards. Yeah, good non-unique upgrades are something the game is really hurting for right now. And I'm not entirely confident because I believe that some members of the Netrunner design team believe that the solution to the current problem is to play traps, which is like quite a fundamental misunderstanding of the problems that Glacier decks have. But I don't know. Maybe eventually it will be realized and we'll have some good defensive upgrades.
Yeah, traps are. There's issues with traps because of the amount you have to invest into a trap. It's like it's actively slowing down your game plan. So. If they don't run the trap, then
and you can mitigate. Like we need some sick new traps because you can mitigate all the current traps if they're a known force in the meta. If you know that these Glacier decks are getting you with aggressive Secretary or like Junebug, you can just put like two like hate cards in your deck, and then the traps don't do anything anymore. And that's if you don't vamp or siphon them.
I recently had a mini discussion where we said like. Take a look at like cards that aren't really played often. Like if you look at like or never played, like Alex Talbot or Director Haas, and combine not Director Haas, Thomas Haas, and combine that with a card like Junebug or Cerebral Static or Snare, so that like on the one end it's a trap card, on the other end it's a card that gives you on the corp side a benefit, so that you can trigger yourself if it never gets run. So. The invested effort still gives you a benefit if it's not a detriment to the run.
Yeah, like something like Grendel Refinery, although it's not a great card, it has that quality to it where if it was a little bit stronger, it might be okay because it's like, sure, you can force them to run the remote when maybe they don't want to, but you also get a benefit if they don't. So,
a card that's like that but more push than the ones we have would do a lot of work. Also, like Virtual Tour is kind of like this, and Prisec too, where it's like an upgrade that's kind of a trap but is an upgrade, so it stays there, so it makes your scoring remote better if they don't run it.
Yes,
like that's the good thing about Virtual Tour is if they don't run it when you put it down, you just put a Sansan on it and it's protecting you. So like trappy or trap upgrades would help a lot, I guess. I don't know. Trying to fix Netrunner over
here. We got ideas, Damon. All you got to do is talk to us.
Like you don't need to print any of these 10 cards we just came up with cool ideas for, though. Just ban Rumor Mill. Polop is a good Caprice hate card.
That's true. Polop was a really cool card to have in the mix, and there's zero reason to play it now, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's definitely too sweeping, but well, it never changes all the time, right?
Yeah, we play with the cards.
I can't wait to play this new fetal. I keep telling everyone I don't know what it's called, but the project something on that. The
That's a sweet one.
I mean, I'm enjoying Potatoes Unleashed. That's been good fun.
Some Brits were disappointed that Laurie didn't play Potatoes Unleashed against me today.
It's because I knew you'd have net shield or feedback.
I won net shield.
See that's why I was asking about that when we were watching the games. I was like, it's interesting that he put a net shield in there. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the levels of my rusing actually, I was playing Sam RS's Mushin Polana online quite a bit, just so addicts might see me playing it and suspect.
I never saw you.
Give me an edge.
You have 1 million Smurfs. I would not for a second think that you would just play your real deck as your username. Fair. I would know that you definitely weren't on that deck.
Well, Alex, was that you week 1 that played against? What did you play, Severin week 1 and put in a feedback filter?
Yeah. I put in a feedback filter and a Deus Ex because I was so sure.
Yeah.
He was going to play, and then he was like, and then I think he was a little unhappy about that. He was like, well I guess that didn't work.
I think maybe he was not he probably wasn't really familiar with the tournament, and maybe he didn't think about the fact that you might see him playing online and make him. But I mean, that's absolutely it's not a design flaw. It's a perk. We're trying to make it to where people have to actually consider their opponent when they pick their decks. So
no, it's great. It added so much more fun to the week. And then I really wanted to know what Alex was playing. I wanted to I didn't want to hear that he was playing Valencia or something. That was all the excitement and added to the tension.
Yeah, well, it was pretty funny when you submitted your decks, and then later on that night you were like, I can't go to bed until I know what Alex is playing.
Yeah, Laurie was kind of, when I was picking decks, it was hard because he's got some good ones in his wheelhouse that made picking really hard, because Siphon Val looks like a pretty good choice when I think his main, ultimately plays Polana, but if I think he's trying to play around Nexus Kate, Siphon's probably going to work out pretty well. But Laurie's played Sync a bunch before, and if he just calls me and plays Sync and I play Siphon Val, I really don't like my chances. So maybe Siphon Val was the correct choice with the data I had. But if Laurie had never played Sync, I probably would have played Siphon Val. But I rused myself.
So let's talk about deck choices here. I would relate it to a poker game where when you make a decision, you base your decision on a range of hands that your opponent can have. Would that be kind of similar to how you pick your deck? Do you think of a range of decks that your opponent's on and then pick the one that's best for that range, or do you just pick the one that you think has the easiest win if it lands?
I think that depends a lot, right? So the odds in that factor are how good you are and how good you think you are against your opponent. If you think you're a lot better than your opponent, then you play safer decks, right? If you think, and also it depends on, some of the matchups are so bad. If Alex had played Valencia, it would have been so hard for me to win that game. So you have to kind of weigh it all up together, I guess. How good you are, how bad the matchup could be.
Yeah.
And what you think they might play as well, right? I haven't seen Alex play Siphon or Valencia. You won a region with Valencia, actually, didn't you? A couple years ago.
Yeah, that was very different though. That was
Grimfest, was it? Grimfeast.
Grimfeast, yeah. That was Keyhole, Eater, Desperado. But yeah, I haven't actually tested any Siphon Val yet, so it was not really in my wheelhouse at all. I could have tested. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have seen that there was plenty of opportunity for a ruse there, but I don't know. The thing about Nexus K is it's the perfect top deck for me because it doesn't really have any horrendous matchups. I always feel like I can have a pretty good shot. So what's the kind of thing that can happen is I go in circles debating what they might play and just decide to play Nexus K, and that's kind of what happened here.
It's part of the magic of Netrunner, actually. Before the tournament, I love it and I hate it, but that kind of tension and excitement and indecision about what to play, and you don't want to make the wrong decision, and you chat with other people about it, all in the build up to a big tournament, trying to guess the meta. That's a big part of Netrunner for me. I really enjoy it.
I enjoy it, but it actually tends to hurt my chances. Chris Dyer and I are the same in that we both really like a 2-deck meta. That's where we play at our best. And Ben Nee does too, actually, interestingly. Ben Nee likes to work out the deck to beat the best deck in a 2-deck meta. Chris and I just play the best deck and hope we're better at it than everyone else. But that tends to work out for me in the past. Like the tournaments I've done pretty well at are like UK Nationals 2015, where it was all KRP, and BABW final, where it was just Wizard CTM. Like all the guessing mind game stuff of top deck, probably I think the other top deck participants are better at it than I am. But it just made it more fun. Like it was really interesting to have a new skill tested in this tournament. That's one of the things I enjoyed the most about it.
That's a good point about the 2-deck meta. I think that definitely plays towards certain types of players and hurts other type of players. Like I can speak from personal experience. I'm not good in a 2-deck meta because I'm not the best pilot. So I can't really expect to just like we go toe to toe with the same decks and I win. Like for me, it's like I have to have some kind of way to like play a slightly off meta deck that surprises some people or takes advantage of some of the stronger decks. And that's a super valid point. I think that certain type of players, I think generally the better pilots do the best in the 2-deck metas. Because it's just straightforward. You know exactly what to expect. You've played the matchup a million times, and you're just going to outplay your opponent. So
exactly, and also being good at testing or good at theory crafting has also benefited. Like the West Coast at Worlds this year had a good grasp on the meta, and so we're able to put a bunch of time, but more importantly, a bunch of great thought into which decks were going to work, and they did really well as a result.
Yeah, making those tweaks, like knowing that hey, we're playing Wizard, and there's no question that Wizard is the runner. So we can spend all our time, focusing on what's the best Wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about Netrunner is like people often want just the format to be as diverse as possible, but actually I really enjoy it when the format gets more and less diverse throughout the year as packs come out and the meta changes. And so your approach to a tournament changes as time goes by, because like the new pack just came out, it's crazy and open. The pack's been out for ages and there's clearly a best deck, then like it's a different kind of tournament. So it's nice that we have to approach different tournaments in different ways.
Yeah, I think it's a bonus that it goes back and forth.
Yeah, no, I agree with your point about I quite like a stale meta in some ways, and not even that, it doesn't have to be that stale, but just what the big decks are, and I don't mind if it's like 6 months of CTM, that's fine, because you kind of get like a refinement, and everyone always becomes like connoisseurs, and you look at someone's couple of different cards, and you kind of really see what they're doing and respect it, and it can go right down to the low level.
Yeah,
I quite like that.
Yeah. All right, it's probably getting kind of late for you guys, and it's Friday night, so you might have some. I see you drinking some brown stuff over there. I got this. Yeah. I'm all out, so I should have.
Cheers, Laurie.
Yeah, thanks for running these, Greg. I mean, I'm sure you get a lot of that, but it definitely means a lot.
No,
thanks, Greg. I've had like I was saying just before, I've had a wonderful time on Top Deck.
Yeah, nice work.
Thank you guys for playing. I mean, that's basically the whole reason I do this, is so I can just watch you guys play. So if you have any final shout outs that you want to give out, go ahead and go for it.
Sure. Well, David Rogers pretty much gave me the Andy list and hadn't changed it, so credit to him for giving me the list to play with, and also Michael from Brighton for testing. We had 4 games of Nexus K tonight against La Palana in preparation. So.
Oh.
That helped.
Well, shout outs to no one, because no one helped me prep. I just really tested in my mind.
That's the best shout out. A lot of respect for that shout out.
No, shout out to Kenny Deacons, because he said good luck before the stream began. So I've just got one friend in the world.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks you guys, and God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
Ring.
Ring. Thank you guys, by the way. I appreciate this.
Nice.
Yeah, you got an honorary Brit here.
I didn't know that you had a. Isn't it? It's a really cool shirt as well.
It's legit. I love it.
Yeah, excellent.
I should have had you guys sign it, but it was I didn't have to. I don't know.
Next year.
Next year.
You guys are busy winning like way more games, so I didn't really have time to find you. Have you sign it?
Yeah, cool. No, yeah, next year we'll sign everything.
Nice.
Cool. Well, cheers, guys. Cheers, Greg. Cheers, Laurie. Good luck.
Cheers, Alex.
It's you or Chris. I don't know which one of the two of you I want to win, but it's you or Chris.
Well, it might be me and Chris next round.
Yeah. Oh.
They denied us an all-Brit final.
There's only like 4 people left, and I'm one of them. You just like named all the other people. other than like Noah.
Yeah, I don't know. I want, like, all the people in Top Deck, of course, are wonderful people that I'd be happy to see win. I'd rather see a Brit win. I think that's fair. Yeah, so it's Jesse, Chris, Laurie, Noah, and you, Josh. Yeah, well, that's a good 5. Cool. Okay.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
All
Bye,
right,
guys.
y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, what do you think? Let's any comments about the matches or about the future
Those were good.
matches? Yeah, those are definitely some good games. Solid play, I think, on both parts.
Sorry, to jump in, I totally agree. I really liked watching both of their games because it kind of felt like, just as Alex said, midway through his explanation of his deck choices, it felt like at any point in time the game probably or could have swung in a different direction. It just needed, there were just pieces that were missing or needed a little bit of luck, a few different changes in play. But for the most part, it felt like they were both very, very good. They knew what they were doing, and they were just playing to every available out that they had. And it just happened to be that in these 2 games, Laurie happened to come out on top. But I really enjoyed them. I thought they were great games.
Yeah, those were great. They were fun to watch. They were well played. They were a little different because you had like side games for the first time, and not just one, but like a ton of them. And in the other game, they both got out to like a really fast, high-powered start. It might have been better if Alex could have drawn some ETR faster, or at least just something to score with. So maybe it would have been like a little closer, because it kind of did feel like a landslide for Laurie in that second one. But they're good games. They were well played.
Agreed. Let's look at the bracket. We've got obviously Laurie advances, and he'll play the winner of Chris Dyer and Jesse Marshall. And then we've got Noah and Josh. I don't know. How you feeling about this matchup? I know you kind of commented earlier that you were still thinking about your decks, but
Yeah, good. I've been thinking about what to play against Noah for like a week and a half, and I have not come up with anything, and I haven't practiced at all. So I'm gonna have to pull something out right at the last second, which I tend to do semi-often these days.
well, I feel like that's a good hedge. That was a good hedge because you're like, oh, I'm not playing. So if I lose, then I'm not playing, and if I win,
no excuses. There'll be no excuses. I'm gonna try 100% to play the decks that give me the best chance. I'm gonna try to win.
well, you got one game to win, and you'll be in the finals. So
It's exciting.
I did want to say there's a couple things coming up in the future. There's some talk of doing the top deck number 3 will maybe not be it may not even be called number 3. I don't know, but we might do a team tournament with the West Coast versus the Brits. So
Ooh.
we're still working on that, but if we do, we're going to do it StarCraft style, which is one match at a time, and the team where all 4 players lose first loses. So potentially you could have one player beat the entire team.
Right. The all-kill format. That's really fun. I would definitely like to see that.
Yeah, so that's in the works. My wife's pregnant and she's going to have a baby this month. So
Whoa, congrats.
yeah, thank you. So I'm going to be pretty busy after like probably towards the end of this month. So we may get a little delay as far as the monthly tournaments goes, but I'll try to do like some kind of one-off thing, like the team tournament, something like that. But I think when we come back for number 3, I kind of got some ideas of one of the ideas is that I may have people submit YouTube videos answering some questions as sort of like an online application. And then I don't know. I haven't decided if maybe people will vote based on the videos or maybe like views. Like we'll go off of the YouTube views. Like whoever has the most YouTube views gets a spot in the tournament.
Oh.
So it kind of like pushes people to make either creative videos or interesting videos, or even just like, hey, I'm freaking Dan, and people are gonna watch my video no matter what. So, so yeah.
Does Dan have to make a video to get in?
Oh well, if I do this,
Has he not earned it?
well, he's definitely earned a spot at some point. But if in this scenario, and I don't know if this will be the next one or just a future one. That's kind of something that I'm thinking about. And some other stuff that is probably going to happen is I think eventually we're going to have some kind of stipulation from the start where either all deck lists are public after the matches, or we're going to let the viewers vote on whose deck list out of the featured match that they want to see the most, and then it'll get posted on NRDB or something like that. Because I think we're kind of missing an opportunity to share some solid lists with people that might, I don't know, just try to give the viewers kind of like an extra incentive as far as tuning in and seeing certain lists and maybe getting to see them in the future or something like that.
I think it's always interesting whenever there's sort of this audience participation level that's added. I know that for the people that are playing in the tournament, it may not be the best scenario, but for the people watching, it obviously is going to be entertaining for them to say, "Hey, we want to see this guy's list because this list is interesting." And
right.
Now it plays sort of into that top deck mentality as well, where you look at even if they shared the deck list, the question is, are you going to metaverse that deck list? Because they don't have to play it. I think that's still the dilemma that you wind up with regardless.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of deciding between whether it's best to release all the lists or just do the vote, because I think the vote, what it does is it makes each list that's shared like that much more special in a way. You know what I mean? Because there's only one. So. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of secrets. It's not like anybody's holding on to any secrets, but it is nice to see a full list sometimes.
I agree. Be neat.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'll just want to say thanks for joining me, Josh. It's your first time on, so big ups to coming on. And
it was fun. Thanks for having me. I did one of these things on my stream. I did some people's games.
Yeah, and I super appreciate you doing that. I know there's been some other people that have streamed some games too. So
no, it was fun, man. It was my pleasure.
Cool. And Hollis?
Hey there. Sorry. Hey there. How are you?
I feel like I just sufficiently tried to stroke your ego earlier, so.
Yeah, bro. Just call me a piece of shit. I don't care.
I can't do that. There's no way.
I'm always a fan of people that I've said this before, but I'm a huge fan of people that produce content, whether it's what we're doing. Excuse me. Let me not take any credit for that. What you are doing and creating this content for fans and allowing them to looking into like participation options, looking into having a tournament that's different from the norm, that's really entertaining. It's always fantastic. And even if you do what Josh does and you simply are playing the game and you're streaming your games, that kind of content is fantastic because Netrunner fans, whether you're casual or competitive, love more games. When I started the game, I just wanted to watch more and more videos. And even now that I've been playing the game for 3+ years, I still want to watch more and more content. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to play the game as much as you do and provide content for people beyond yourselves. It's very selfless. You are doing a lot. Whether you realize it or not, you are actually doing a lot. So thank you.
Well, joke's on you because this is all just one big ruse to have all the best players send me their deck lists every week.
Genius.
It works.
It's genius.
It's working.
World Top 16, Greg Feeney.
Every Monday, I'm just scrolling through lists, going like, "What are we gonna play this week, boys?"
He harvests them.
Yeah.
I've got the biggest
market.
I've got the biggest database of badass deck lists of any Netrunner player in the world. So
It's genius.
The black market. People are like, "Can I get that power tap list?"
yeah, I'm gonna start. Actually,
quick $10.
I said that I was gonna do a vote, but it's probably gonna be a cash transaction, like, $5 per list, or like a subscription, like people can subscribe, and I'll send.
Oh my god!
That's
you found a market. You created your own market for deck lists.
The top deck lists club.
Yeah,
Oh
y'all don't see the end play. Like I've got the end game in sight.
Right.
That's why I haven't like thrown out a Patreon or anything like that, because it's like, we're gonna keep it.
So you gotta build value and then try and cash in all at once.
Exactly.
You got them on the line.
Yeah, it's gonna be right before Worlds when I open up the lists.
This is great. I approve.
But in all seriousness, shit. Now I forgot. I'm so busy like with the ruse. Now I can't remember the real thing that I was gonna say.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I forgot the real thing. On this ruse about how I'm gonna charge everybody money for necklace.
Oh no, I remember now. I wanted to put out there that like I would like to get some help with art. If anybody is like an artist that wants to help me out with some stuff. Like I still don't have a logo, which I'm like really terrible at logos. And if anybody is interested in doing something like that, hit me up. And basically anything art related. I'm looking for some art pieces to put on the stream. And also want to give a shout out to Mark, aka Hermit. He does the top deck bracket on his website, and he's also working on a website that's going to showcase player profiles and
nice.
Oh yeah, he's doing great work.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, Mark's doing a ton of stuff for the Anarch community, so I actually feel really bad that it took me this long to mention him on stream, which I don't think I have. But yeah, he's doing a great job, and eventually we'll have a fully functioning site with profiles, and probably I'm imagining players will be able to report their matches and stuff like that, so we'll get it all automated. So thanks, Mark. We appreciate it. But we definitely have room for some art if anybody wants to contribute that kind of thing. But yeah, that's about it. Another one's in the books, and we'll be looking forward to next week. Josh, maybe we might see you again, but playing.
Maybe. If you get Dire, I think you gotta go with the champ, though, right?
I would like to show the champ. Yeah, that I would have liked to have actually shown him and Jesse's match, but it's really hard. With Jesse's time zone is kind of like the outlier for the tournament. So
you've got a guy in Australia, a guy in the UK, and then you're trying to stream it from America.
Right. Like I think it's probably not too much of a problem for them to find a time to play, but it's hard to find a time where they can play and I could stream it. So
yeah.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. All right. Anything else before I shut her down?
Got nothing.
Nope.
All right.
I got no shout-outs. I'm like Alex. I got just a shout-out to myself. I'd like to thank myself because nobody helped me.
Oh man,
That sounds good. So I think that's a good ender. We'll see you.